It's Scrappy Kathy with another Mixed Media Frenzy. And today I'm going to do a sketch or a layout that, that I selected for the group. And all of us are going to be doing the same sketch. And I, to be honest with you, you know how much I love purple. I actually selected this because of the purple background, and I'm having the hardest time doing the purple background. So when you look at the original, it kind of looks like, at least this piece right here that comes down to here, kind of looks a little like torn paper, but the others kind of look like brush strokes. And I've tried brush strokes with this paintbrush and just swipes with the pads on my Distress Oxides. I'm committed to using these three colors of purple. I've done a few actually, and I even found a paper that I thought would be pretty to tear, and when I found it, I'm going to use it for something sometime soon. It's part of a Bo Bunny a Gift of Love collection, and I'm trying to see the date. I don't think it had, 2010. So it's it's been around for a while, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I can see why I've been hoarding it. But I'm not going to use it on this layout. Some of the things I like about this layout are the purple and the blue, and the little tiny touches of other colors, like in the penguin's hat and the scarf here and the tree there, although it's a shade of blue. And I've got an array of embellishments to kind of fit that theme, and I'm going to do this one kind of like I've done others, in that I'll do the background, set it aside to dry, then I'll assemble the photo cluster, and then kind of put it together and start putting embellishments. I'm going to kind of tell you some decisions I made ahead of time, and I'll tell you why. I have some products on the table because I had intended to use them. I was going to do the swipes with the ink pads, and then I was going to make these little white dots that kind of look like dots of snow flakes, if you will. I was going to do that with this stencil and, at first, flexible modeling paste. And I thought that would kind of be nice. They're different size circles, and I could kind of push it through irregularly. And I thought it might be a bit too much, and I've opted instead for sequins. I'm going to make those little white dots with sequins. I've assembled a bunch of holographic foil snowflakes and some clear acrylic snowflakes and some holographic sequins here, and some blue sequins from a Spiegel Mom Scraps collection that was designed just for the Creative Cuts Club with a boy collection they had, and then just some plain white sequins. And I've got a few perspectives here. I like this kind of glassy one that says Moments, and I could put Chili at the top, and it could be Chili Moments, but I'm kind of leaning towards just this burr. So we'll see where I end up there. I also, I thought that the Liquitex, the modeling paste might be too much. I thought these glass beads would be nice. I'd kind of pull them through and they'd stand up and there'd be kind of an iridescent glassy sort of texture. And I decided against that because it takes hours and hours to dry, and I could not put the layout together the way that I do, kind of live experience sort of scrapping. So I'm gonna make the iridescent glass beads. I'm gonna use these sticker jewels that I have from, I have no idea where or when. And I'll do a combination of those and these things that kind of look like water and are about the same color blue as the other things I was going to use. So, and I've got a few other things that I may or may not use. So I'm going to kind of put aside some of my bread and butter mixed media techniques in favor of hard embellishments, just because I want to spend my mixed media time kind of perfecting the background. I'm using my Vicki Boutin mixed media foundations paper so that it'll take the water I'm going to be putting on it. And I've got some torn sheet music and vellum and blue paper that I'll put together in the photo cluster. And I've got a sticker sheet that has penguins and snowmen in kind of the wrong color, but it's got a series of snowflakes that I think are just perfect colors. I fussy cut a snowman, a cup of hot chocolate, a tree, and a penguin from the cover sheet of a paper collection called I Love Winter by Lori Whitlock for Echo Park. So that's all done. Okay, let's work on the background. I'm delaying working on the background. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is, let me actually put this on here. I'm going to spray some water on my craft mat. And I'm going to wet the pad maybe more on one side than the other. Then I'll turn it on its side. What I'm going for is kind of the unfinished swipe look. And I'm going to start the swipes in the center because that'll be covered by the photo cluster. And then I'll go up and then I'll go down. So that's kind of my philosophy here. Swipe number one. Okay. And swipe number two. That kind of went down a little bit farther than I wanted it to. I'm going to do another one kind of this way, this way. It's got a square edge over there, which I can change with a little bit of water on the paintbrush, and I can kind of do that here as well. Let's see if I can get that fully on camera. This is kind of a combination of the swipes. I think I'm going to leave that one, and I may try to do something to fill that in with this other color of ink. Whoops. That was Seedless Preserves. This is Dusty Concord. And I'm going to see. Okay, let's see if we can kind of feather that out a bit. When I did my tests, I did it on plain typing paper. And it doesn't, the ink doesn't spread as well, let's say, on that. I may be making this background a little bit larger than I had intended, but there can never be too much purple, right? Okay, we're gonna go like this, and that one's gonna go high, and it's gonna have a tail going down low. We'll go like this, and then I'll feather that with the brush. Okay. This is working better than my tests. Okay. I'm gonna go with that. There won't be as much white space on either side as we had in the original. And I'm gonna say that's okay. Let me pull this mat off to the side. You know, I'm gonna actually go back on, because I've eliminated so much white space, I am going to do some texture paste. I'm gonna do it just a swipe of it kind of out here, and then I'll move it over and do a swipe the other side. Let me do it this way. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to do it this way, and then I'm down to the very bottom of this, and it's a little bit dried. And what I can do is where I might want for the composition of the piece, where I might want some white dots, that's what I can fill in with the staples. So that's there. Let me do a little bit heavier one down the side, make it a skinnier, longer stretch. And that's if I can eke out enough here. I wouldn't normally recommend using paste that's this dried out, but I think it's going to work out okay here. For sure, I wouldn't recommend it on camera because it takes a little more working, but it behaves better. If it's not as liquid, it behaves better. So actually what I'm saying is I would recommend it. Okay. Down here. Now, if I recall correctly, this brand tends maybe to absorb some of the background color. Okay, there. I didn't scrape that as well on the top, so it's got a little bit of mess over here, but I can embellish that. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside to dry. It's not a particularly attractive background at the moment. I will give you that. I'm going to give it some ink sprinkles, and then we'll add those dots, which I think will help um, tone it down, I guess maybe is what the word I'm looking for. Now this ink is also likely to make drops that will absorb some of the ink underneath. And so I will have to do it again. So I'll put that aside. Now let's get it aside and I'll do the photo cluster. Okay. For this, I may build it on its foam backing. Let me make sure my hands are clean because I'm handling the photo. And I think it's time to toss this guy. So clean that out. Actually, it's a good container. My other modeling paste is in a squeezable container and it's huge. So I'm probably going to squeeze it into that or some other smaller container, smaller jar, so that it's easier to handle. Okay, let's do this. I've got this frame and this photo. And the photo doesn't fit perfectly in the frame, and I didn't really want to crop off this wintry tree there. This is Ava in 2010. I guess she was 2.5. One of my favorite photos of her ever. And that's the cutest little pink coat, but I didn't want it pink in this layout. So I think I'm going to mount it maybe like that and have that part of it kind of sticking up in the back there. I like that. I looked at it before and kind of liked it, but wasn't sure that was what I wanted to do, so I apologize for not having done this, not having this done. Let's see. I don't like that the edge is showing on either side. Let me do it this way. Okay, that works. And I think I'm going to use this as a guide. Right behind that are, it looks like there's a piece of paper with a squared edge. So I'm going to layer this vellum behind it this way. Then it looks like there's this torn piece, and I've got this blue paper. I'm going to maybe inch it over to the side here instead of centering it dead center. And I'm going to dead center this other piece of vellum. I may turn it this way. I like that better, I think. Do that. Then I want to put this musical paper there so that it kind of barely shows. And then I like that. Now that's kind of wide. across there. I'm gonna maybe do this differently. I'm gonna take it apart, and let's do this. We'll bring this in a little bit closer. I think I'm actually going to cut these. I maybe shouldn't have cut the paper there. I want this to be up higher. And so I can put this down here. And then let me just let this little bit of the music note paper there. That makes it a more vertical piece rather than fanning out horizontally. And because the background is a little bit spread out a little bit more horizontally, I thought maybe I'd do this piece not quite so much. Okay, so this is done as far as the photo goes. I have this little snow day clip, and I was thinking I'd use it here, and let me start layering on the little fussy cut elements here. Okay, I think I want the snowman to kind of be right here. And I'm going to slide it in so that it hides that area of the photo that's kind of sticking out. I'm going to layer the penguin kind of right over it. And I'm doing this without foam layers underneath, because this frame is pretty thick chipboard, and this is down a layer or two of paper, so you still get that 3D effect with his little hand kind of sticking out over. So here I'm going to do the tree kind of sticking out to the side here. In the original, there are two trees. I'm just going to use this one. Do I kind of like that, so that the, again, the 3D effect with the branch kind of sticking up, overlapping the frame. So the cup of cocoa will go here. Let me put it down a bit. Oh, I don't want to cover the trunk of the tree. Okay, that will work. And once I get it on there, let's see if I can put the title right there. Do I like that better than? I still have room to do chili up here, maybe kind of like that, and moments down here. With the, this is kind of see-through, and I love it for that reason, but it's not good over the stripe, nor over multiple layers of paper. So that pushes those out of the running. And let me get some. This opaque perspective will be perfect. Okay. Now, I'm hoping that this guy, move that a bit. Let's get it here. I'm hoping that it's dry enough for me to be able to layer this on top. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with it, and because it's a little wet, I'm gonna use some liquid glue, which will tend to grab it. It'll be movable right at first, but it will it'll settle down. Okay, I like the I like that the paper layers kind of somewhat obscure the purple strips on the background. And I'll also let you in on a secret. I love this middle color of purple. It's the wilted violet. But for this particular layout, I wish I hadn't used it. I wish I had used this or this. The kind of grayer, redder sort of colors. So you live and learn. Let me see what we are doing next. I'm going to first put on these acrylic snowflakes because I only have 3 of them, and I want to get them placed kind of out. There's there's a gold side and a silver side to these. I'm using the silver side when I can tell the difference. Okay, there. And here's silver side. This looks like, this is silver and this is gold. I really like that they did that. Put this here, and then I'll do, where is the other one? Did I lose it? And I'm sure you're really enjoying. Well, I'll find it, it'll turn up, and I'm not gonna hold up the show. You probably are looking at it and yelling at the video. It's there. Ah, here it is. Okay. Gold, I think, and silver. So let me put the glue on the gold side. And I'm going to put this guy down here, kind of overlapping this bit of purple down here. Okay. In theirs, there is a really cute blue heart kind of standalone up there, and I would like to use mine to cover up some of this overlap on the texture paste. And I think it's almost big enough to do that, and if I add in some sequins to kind of even things out, I think that'll work. Let me now go to these holographic foil snowflakes, and I'm really going to sprinkle them around. I'd like to cover up or kind of disguise that break in the brush strokes. Let me do this. I may even put one on the, all right, maybe a grouping of them on the frame. I should be picking that up with the, and let me put another one overlapping the photo up here in this corner. There we go. And let's see where else we can. I'll put a couple more, and put one here down in the purple field, over by where the dot is not fully formed. And I'll put another one maybe here. I have quite a few of these. These came in the Mind the Scrap December kit. I have to leave room because I'm doing some washi tape edges. There's this black and white plaid edge on each of the vertical sides, and I've got and it matches the frame around the photo. And I actually found some washi tape that matches that matches the frame. So let me put it on. And I'm going to bring it all the way out to the edge of the paper. So they'll maybe give you the idea there's another sheet of paper underneath, and I've got a smaller white card. Okay, that's done. That adds a lot to it, I think. And though I will admit to not being a particularly avid fan of gray, and I might have looked at this roll of washi and thought I'd never use it, I do think it's perfect here, and the grays let the purples kind of take center stage, so I like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I know what my field is here, and I'm not opposed to maybe overlapping that, but I'm thinking I may not need to. Let me stick one up here. Okay, I'm actually going to stop with the holographic snowflakes, and I'm going to go to these blue watery dots and kind of bring some blue in to that outer field. I'm not going to do too many of these, and I'll take some different sizes, maybe that size there. This one is actually a foamy one, and I'll kind of put it maybe here. And I will take another foamy one, actually I'll take a slightly larger foamy one and put it maybe right down there. Okay, enough of those. I'll put those aside. I'm actually also going to check out these stickers. I like these stickers because they have kind of filled in centers, and it allows me to easily put a pop dot on to lift them up. And I can do that right there. And that actually, this is kind of a trio there that it kind of brings out this blue dot brings out the blue in that snowflake. I've got one that's kind of a darker blue, darker grayish blue here. And I'm going to make it part of a trio down here. And there are three completely different snowflakes there. And I like that idea. There's a red one I don't want to use. Yellow, green, red, pink, not so much. There's another one of those grayish blues. But this green is kind of grayish enough to work, and it's large. So I think I will use it maybe here. Is that too... I think I'll use it up here. So I'd like for things to look like they're going in a diagonal rather than kind of squared out and filled up. I did that the other day on a layout, and I didn't realize it. As I was going along, I realized I loved everything that was going on the page. But then when I looked at kind of stood back and looked at the total composition, I realized I didn't care for the design. Okay, here's one of these kind of glassy looking dots. I'll kind of do, let's see, I'll put one here, and then I need another one maybe here as part of this trio, or to make that a trio. I'll put that aside, and I have some hearts that I could use to maybe overlap here. I don't think those are big enough, and they don't stand out enough to me. So I kind of like this one. That works. And now I'm going to do these. I'm going to use all 5 of these little purple dots, and one of them is going to go here, and one maybe let's do a little line of 3 of them. When you want them to stick, they don't. And when you don't want them to, because you want to be able to move them into place, they really love to stick on that shiny surface of the chipboard. Okay, let's see. Okay, that works. And then I will do this one maybe. Don't like it there. You know, I just can't. Where else would be a good spot for that? That one's kind of in the center. So let's put it kind of in the, that's on the same side. I kind of don't like this. I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to put a sequin there. Okay, now we'll go, I have these other purple dots, which I think I will not use, although it would kind of bring in, if I used a couple of these. Let's do one there. This brings in that more fuchsia purple color. And there, we can do something there, and then I'll add a sequin to make that a triangle. Let me do a third one, maybe a little bit larger. These are a nice matte finish dots. Let's see, one there, and let's do one maybe out here. Okay, now we're gonna go with sequins. And I'm gonna do, I've got these little kind of pinwheel looking things that are holographic, so they can reflect any color that I want them to. I'm gonna do one here. Okay, and I think I need something here, so I will put it down here, and then I'll do a white one. I'm going to use very few of the white sequins because I don't need the white dots since I went back and did the texture paste. There's a bit of texture paste here that kind of got rubbed roughly through the stencil. So I'm going to cover that. I want to do one of these here, kind of halfway on the purple and halfway on the white. It's not coming off. And I'm struggling a bit there. Okay, thankfully I have some little splatter looking things. Well, those are the splatters that we did earlier. Let's see, up here I need one. And I think I'm going to use the holographic rather than the white. I'm going to use another one maybe. Right there. Let's see. Oh, I need one here for sure. Okay. Now, you're going to laugh at what I'm going to do last on this page. One of the things I love about the original is this little area where they did some journaling and then some multiple passes with the date stamp. So I've got a great date stamp. It's perfect for this. It's actually, let's see, is it here? I have two date stamps, and I chose this one because it's got kind of wintry sort of sayings. It's an American Crafts, and it's got a snowflake on it. It gives you an idea of things. I've got the right date on it. It was, this was, January 10th in 2011. So I set this when I was setting all my stuff up, and I didn't leave myself enough white space here, but I have this little bit of blue paper sticking out, and I thought I could use that, and since I'm trying to get it to look a little messy anyway, I'm going to maybe partially badly ink it, and so kind of make a few passes there. So I think you can read it. It says Winter Wonderland is what the whole stamp says. So I may make a good stamping of it up here, and if it doesn't, I'm not going to do that either. Maybe I'll add a little bit of journaling up there. In any case, I think we're going to call it done at the moment. I have a little bit of the stamping coming down into here. Should I maybe do it here? Nah, just going to leave it that way. I want to be sure that at least one of the lines you can actually read. And I think this first one that I did works for that. And I've got a little bit of overstamping onto the vellum, a little bit onto the music note paper, and a little bit actually onto the background in a couple places. So I'm thinking it's done. I'm thinking it's ready to go. Okay, so here's the original, and here's mine. So, hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to check back and check out everybody else who's getting themselves in a frenzy doing mixed media. I have to say, I'm not thrilled with the background, but it's okay. So, bye. Thanks for watching.